Yo, what is up, y'all? My name is Devin, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can undergo a bulking phase while managing your dysphoria, because believe it or not, it is possible. Dysphoria, you're not going to take this from me, okay? If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, a custom meal plan, or a custom training plan, definitely go ahead and email me. I'm also going to be including the link to my website, which includes a dumbbell-only training plan, which is great if you're training from home with not too much equipment. The number one takeaway that I want you to have from this video is slow and steady wins the race. I look on Instagram and I see guys who are like absolute tanks, right? If your sole purpose, if your sole goal with your bulk is to get absolutely massive, you want to build a shit ton of muscle, you have to understand that everybody has a different starting point and everybody is not going to be able to push a bulk as hard as the next person, right? The number one thing you can do to help mitigate your dysphoria when you're bulking is take it slow and steady. You don't have to eat in this 1,000 calorie surplus. You don't have to be gaining 1.5 2 pounds a week in order to see gain. And honestly, if you are gaining weight at such a fast pace, unless you're like freaking The Rock, the odds that it's pure muscle tissue is very unlikely. Another instance where it makes sense to gain weight at such a fast rate is simply if you're underweight, if you're coming from a very lean body composition, if you don't usually eat enough, then you can gain weight at such a fast pace. But if you're standard body composition and you're not very underweight, then 2 pounds per week is honestly too fast of a weight gain for it to be lean and productive. If you're gaining weight at a super fast pace, that's going to be a fast track to really boost your dysphoria, which is the opposite of what we want. So what I suggest doing is calculate your calories to be a slight surplus, okay? I'm talking 0.5 pound to 1 pound gain per week, and that pound gain per week is more so if you're on the newbie side. 1 pound a week might be honestly too much for you if you've already gone through a couple of bulking and cutting cycles, right? If we're looking to gain 1 pound a week, we'd be eating a 500 calorie surplus on a day-to-day basis. To the same tune, if you're looking to gain 0.5 pound a week, we'd be eating at around 250 calorie surplus on a day-to-day basis. The second thing you're gonna wanna do, which may feel counterproductive to a bulking phase and what we've been taught, is to stay active. A lot of us like ditch cardio, a lot of us stop taking our walks, a lot of us ditch the stepper. We don't worry about energy or calories burned or anything like that because we're bulking. Who cares? The goal is to gain weight. Well, ultimately, the quality of the mass that you're putting on is highly dictated by how active you are. If you're sitting around all day, the only activity you're getting in is at the gym, prepare to gain way more fat than you should have. And right now, I'm actually dialing my steps up as I bring my food intake up, which seems counterproductive, but realistically, it's helping with my digestion, it's helping with my nutrient partitioning, and it's helping with my insulin sensitivity, which means that I'm gonna have much leaner growth than if I was just eating a shit ton of food all day and sitting around on my ass, right? Make sure that you're keeping your food intake clean as possible. A lot of us just start dirty bulking and your macros do matter. When you're dirty bulking, you're eating more junk food, you're eating more fast food, more fun food, as I like to call it, because there's no such thing as bad food. It's really just, is this food serving the purpose that you would like it to serve in your life? Yeah, that's like rather important to keep at a minimum when you're on a bulk, right? When you're doing a dirty bulk, your macros are pretty much skewed. Your fat intake is gonna be entirely too high. You might be hitting your protein intake and your carb intake is gonna be entirely too high. Realistically, you wanna keep a nice moderate protein intake. You don't have to be eating an exorbitant amount of protein. That's just going to put stress on your kidneys. Your fat intake should stay the lowest out of all your macros because this is really going to impact your level of leanness, and your carb intake should always be highest because that's your energy for training, that's your recovery, that's everything. Carbs and protein intake should be your focal points, and you want to be getting that from nice, clean sources that are going to be easy for you to digest. I know that Panera macaroni and cheese is good, but it's not really going to help you keep dysphoria away. I'm not saying don't have fun food, but just keep it to the same degree as if you were cutting. You'll probably have 1 or 2 off-plan meals here and there, as opposed to making every single day fun food. Like, the weight you gain matters. How that weight shows up matters. And if you're just saying, F it, I can't gain weight, I'm gonna eat this junk food, don't be surprised if your delts are not popping, but your love handles are. Like, sorry, that's just how that works. If lean bulking versus dirty bulking didn't matter, everybody would just eat Chick-fil-A all day, work out. They would just look like Ronnie Coleman, and that's not how that works. This is something that I cannot even begin to explain that helps me just feel so centered, even when I'm bulking, even when I'm gaining weight, and I can feel a little bit out of control because I'm not controlling how my body image looks in terms of like, oh, I have abs, I love abs, shit like that. Checking off those daily boxes that indicate to me I'm on the right track. So for myself, that's getting 12,000 steps. That's eating at least 2,600 calories. That's training 5 times a week. That's making sure that I'm sleeping properly. That's making sure that I'm making progress with my training. Those are the boxes that I'm checking off on a weekly basis to ensure that I'm I'm doing what I need to do. When things start getting sloppy and you're all over the place with your training and you're just eating a shit ton of food, you're gonna feel like shit because you know you're not handling your business. And you should approach a bulk with the same intensity, with the same focus as you would approach a cutting phase. Just because you feel like, oh, well, you know, it's not that serious, I'm not trying to see my abs, you just say fuck it and you just do whatever, well, you're gonna get a fuck it whatever result. If you have any tips that really help you with keeping dysphoria as minimal as possible while you're bulking, definitely drop that down below. And like I always say, Devin loves you, Devin's a Don, and Devin is out of here, boy.